Okay, so picture this, a world that's just stuck, locked in a cosmic stalemate, a silent tug of war between two massive forces. Today, we're diving into what happens when a new player enters the game. A catalyst, a disruptor, who doesn't come down from the heavens but claws his way up from the depths to absolutely shatter that silence. This is the story of the Jester.
And this quote, wow, it just nails it, doesn't it? The Jester isn't here to guide you or save you. He's an event, a violent, game-changing force. He's not offering some gentle new path. He's here to make the status quo so unbearable that you have no choice but to change or, well, perish.
So to really get why that lightning strike is so important, we first have to understand the stagnant pond he's about to hit. Let's take a look at the world right before he shows up, a world caught in a silent, completely exhausting standstill. On one side, you've got Wotan. He's in what's called glorious isolation inside his emerald spire. It's this incredible monument to his will, but man, is it a lonely one. And on the other side, you've got the Carrion King, Mephistopheles, ruling from a throne of ash, just watching over a world of decay. So that's the conflict. Sterile, lonely creation versus an equally sterile, endless destruction. The world is just trapped in this exhausting loop, totally ripe for someone, or something, to come along and break the whole cycle. And that someone is, of course, the Jester. But he's not your typical prophet coming from on high. No, he bubbles up from the depths, from a place of radical, dangerous self-creation. Now, what's his power source? What's his secret sauce? It's this concept, amor fati. And this isn't just, accepting your fate. It's a terrible love for it, a full-on, passionate embrace of everything. And that includes all the pain and suffering. This is the fuel for his fire, turning his heart from just a mirror reflecting others into a conflagration of his own making. This diagram here, it just lays out his entire arc so brilliantly. He starts out as the mountain man of self-love, right? He's driven by this intense amor fati, and he fully intends to be a new force of creation. But look at the path he takes. His big mistake is tearing down all meaning without building anything new to stand on. And that doesn't lead him to a higher peak. It sends him straight into the abyss of total negation. He literally becomes the void he wanted to conquer.
So, what's the terrifying message this prophet brings to all the comfortable, safe people in the marketplace? Well, it's a complete demolition of their highest ideal.
This is the core of his shock therapy. Everyone is sitting around waiting for the overman to show up like some kind of trophy for being good. The Jester just walks in and tells them, nope, you've got it all wrong. It's not a reward, it's an abyss. It's a dangerous, shaky tightrope walk over a void, with zero guarantee you'll make it to the other side. He takes their ultimate comfort and turns it into their ultimate terror. So, the crucial takeaway here is that he completely rejects the values of the masses. Their obsession with safety and happiness, to him, that's just a sign of weakness and exhausted contentment. He actually preaches contempt as a virtue, a tool you need to break free. And when he sees the tightrope walker fall, he doesn't see a tragedy. He sees a beautiful, noble risk, a joyful burden that proves the value of striving, even if you fail. It's a lesson the herd just can't stomach. And he doesn't just preach this stuff. Oh no. He takes a literal hammer to the very foundations of the old world's morality. He delivers what you can only call a sermon for predators. I mean, just look at how he flips traditional blessings completely on their head. He blesses the despisers, the lonely ones who have the guts to break away from the herd. He pronounces woe not on the poor, but on the comfortable and the content. And he throws forgiveness out the window in favor of self-mercilessness, arguing that pity is a weakness that stops the overman from ever being created. This is a moral code for creators, not for the flock. But, and this is a huge but, this philosophy of pure destruction, of just taking a hammer to everything, it has a fatal flaw. And this is where the Jester story turns into a serious cautionary tale. This really gets to the heart of the problem, right? The Jester's entire philosophy is based on taking things apart, on negation, on irony. But can you actually build anything from that? Can you sustain a creative fire when your only fuel is the ash of everything you've already burned? And the answer is a hard no. He becomes a broken mirror. Instead of reflecting the potential for a new creator, he just ends up reflecting the emptiness of the void itself. In his quest to tear down all value,
He lost the ability to create any of his own. He becomes a slave to the belief that meaning itself is just one big joke.
This slide just puts it all in such stark contrast. The Jester laughs at the abyss, he bleeds irony, and where does he end up? In the void. Wotan, on his journey, learns that you have to bridge the abyss. He bleeds strength, not irony. He becomes a vessel of synthesis, creating value where the Jester could only destroy it. And his outcome isn't the void, it's the bridge. But the Jester's fall isn't meaningless. Not at all. His failure actually serves as the most important lesson Wotan could possibly learn on his own path. And here it is. This is the profound realization. Wotan finally understands that a hero who is totally alone, cut off from all connection, is basically the same as a mindless herd with no meaning. And why is that? Because they're both just running away from the void. That glorious isolation is just an empty victory over a dead world. It's the same nihilism as the Jester, just dressed up differently. So what's the answer? What's the solution? Wotan realizes he can't stay this solitary arrow of longing. He has to become a vessel of synthesis. He has to integrate the very forces the Jester threw away, the prophet's laugh and the creator's wound. He needs to bring these twin necessities together to forge a new reality, one that's actually strong enough to stand up to the Jester's all-consuming irony. And that brings us full circle. The Jester's grand performance, in the end, was a tragic joke. He was the lightning bolt that boiled the pond, for sure, but because he wasn't grounded, he was just consumed by his own energy. So the ultimate lesson from his story, the big takeaway, is this. To survive the lightning of existence, to actually create and not just destroy, you have to be grounded. Wotan learns he can't stand alone. He has to be grounded by fellow creators, building a reality strong enough to face down the void. And that leaves us with a pretty big question, doesn't it? What does it truly mean to be grounded?